Thanks you guys for coming back and welcome to today's player ratings video after our 4-1 win against Southampton. Of course, I'm still in a good mood. I'm in a very good mood. And for today's video, you guys know how I like to do things. I break down the performance of each and every single player, giving them a score between 1 and 10. I'm thinking of new ideas to format these types of videos. And if you guys have any ideas or thoughts of your own, then of course I love to read them. Make sure to comment them in the description below. Now before I get into things, if you do like today's video, do not forget to smash that like button. Help me get over 1,500 likes for today's video. Now we start with Kepa in goal. And for me, with Kepa, his performances are decent, but he keeps ruining them by making a silly mistake in every game. Now I thought that his passing was quite good at certain times. He played some really good balls out from pressure, and this is the reason why we spent big money to sign this guy in the first place. But I think that his concentration needs to get a bit better. I think that if he's not involved too much, he easily gets distracted during a game, and this is why he makes silly errors at times. For that reason, I'm going to score Kepa a 6.5 out of 10. We move on to Aspie at right back. Yep, surprised me as well, but I kind of understand it. And all I can say about Aspie is, he wasn't too noticeable during the game. And that has good connotations and it has bad connotations. And that's obviously because Willian is ahead of him, helping him defend in those wide areas. Listen, he's been solid and I guess that's all we can expect at the moment. But for that reason, I'm going to score Aspie a 6.5 out of 10. Now we move on to Kurt Zouma. And Kurt Zouma played down the right hand side of the defence, and maybe this is his best position. I think one thing that really impressed me today was Kurt Zouma's passing. He doesn't get any credit for that. Some people still think that he's quite nervous on the ball, and I'm not really seeing it. So if you guys are one of those people, no hate, but I love to get an understanding of why you guys feel nervous when he's on the ball. But regardless, Kurt Zouma is looking to lead a lot more now. I think he looks good beside Tomori. He has that aerial dominance we need. I think the main reason why he's playing over Christensen is that Kurt Zouma can progress the ball from his centre-back position. I mean, how many times does he spray these accurate 70-yard passes? You don't really see that from Christensen. He plays his passes on the ground a bit too much at times. And in our system where, we can struggle to play out from the back at times, accurate distribution from deep from our centre-backs is really important. And this is why we tend to see Kurt Zouma's long passes going to the full-backs. And the reality is, if Kurt Zouma couldn't play like this, then Frank Lampard would not be playing him. Now you guys might think I'm being a bit cynical, but I'm starting to think, Rudiger who? I'm going to give Kurt Zouma a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on straight to Tomori, and for me, listen, Tomori had some mistakes in him. These mistakes I've seen in his game throughout, and they're not really big ones. They're not fundamental mistakes like poor positioning and not knowing what to do or where to be. I think a lot of those mistakes have come from either the midfield guys not being in good positions to receive the ball. The mistake at the end of the first half, I couldn't really blame Tomori for that too much. I mean, he had no one to pass to. No one was there. And when he's receiving that pass in that position, he's guessing that he'll have options ahead of him, and they weren't there. And I think from his other mistakes, they come from a lack of experience, which he'll naturally get the more games he plays. The ball acts independently by itself. Sometimes it bounces in funny areas or it goes in certain distances, whatever. And it's you need to know how to deal with the ball at moments like that. And I think that only comes from experience once you play a lot of games. I can't lie, Tomori knows how to move the ball on the ground. And I like that when he found himself in tricky situations, he came up with style quite a lot of times. Tomori's positives did outweigh his negatives, but still, his overall score is going to be a 6.5 out of 10. And to complete the back four, we move on to Marcos Alonso, and wow, what a transformation. Now we need to understand and respect that Frank Lampard is doing this guy a lot of favours, but he should be doing that. He is the manager and you want to get the best out of the team available to you. And I think this is why Marcos Alonso looks so confident. I mean, we're seeing a lot of nice pieces of control and play from Marcos Alonso, which you're not normally seeing too much. His crossing seems to have really improved a lot more. I'm seeing more variety and he puts the ball in more dangerous areas now. But I think the most impressive thing about Marcos Alonso has been his defending. Now his defending has been better. Of course, there's tactical reasons as to why, Marcos Alonso doesn't have to be so adventurous anymore like he had to be under Sarri. And I guess that's the thing with Marcos Alonso, you can't expect fireworks from the player, but if you make the guy comfortable in the system he's playing in, then yeah, he does feel a lot more confident. He's going to get a 7 out of 10. Now, before I continue on with the player ratings video, you guys, today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. You'll find a link in the description below. Get the OneFootball app to act as a hub for all the latest news happening after a game. Everything's up to date, it's quick, it's convenient. You'll find a link below in the description below. Now we continue on, starting with the midfield, and we begin with N'Golo Kante. And as I've been saying, you guys, last season I said we'll see a better offensive N'Golo Kante, and so far the guy has not disappointed. Now, he's doing things that he just wasn't doing before. He lacked this confidence sometimes in the final third, but after repeated exposure of playing in those areas, he's become a much better player. And one thing I'm loving about N'Golo Kante right now is the runs this guy goes on. Now, this guy's always been really good at beating his man, and that's what's helped him become really press resistant. But now, I mean, it's like his dribbling game has gone on a much higher scale, and for this reason, we're not really missing the skills from Quaver. Kante helped dominate in midfield, and for that reason, he's going to get a 7 out of 10. And playing alongside N'Golo Kante, possibly the man of the match, he goes to Jorginho, and wow, this guy was really on point today. Now, he played an important part in the second goal, getting that pre-assist, and with Jorginho, that's really his game. Winning the ball back, kick-starting another move, and obviously playing alongside Kante is going to make us stronger in the middle. But Jorginho really is stepping up in his leadership roles in the team, which is great to see. He's constantly vocal, constantly telling people where to be, constantly a passing option for people as well. I thought maybe at times, maybe a slight criticism would be maybe he didn't get in the best position sometimes, or maybe the communication wasn't there between the defense and the midfields. But to be honest, you guys, that's because I'm thinking about that Tomori incident and I'm thinking about prevention. If Jorginho was in the area he had to be in, then that mistake's not happening. Still though, his passing was good today. He really controlled things in midfield. For that reason, he is going to get an 8 out of 10. Now we continue and we start with Callum Hudson-Odoi. And I'll tell you guys, out of curiosity, I wanted to see the player ratings that the media gave the players. I went on The Independent, The Sun, a few of these publications, and it seemed like all these guys were unanimous in thinking that Callum Hudson-Odoi played bad today. And I'm just completely, I do not understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then it hit me, it made me realize that I think these guys were expecting to see a Rashford, They were expecting to see Callum doing a lot of erratic things, doing unnecessary skills at the wrong time, playing a lot more youthful. But this is Callum Hudson-Odoi. This isn't Marcus Rashford. This is a serious player we're talking about, and if Lampard's given him the offensive responsibilities, to give him the Eden Hazard role, for someone this young, I mean, that's a big statement, you guys. That's a massive statement, and you have to be ready for that role. You have to play with maturity. You can't be Rashford in that area. You can't be doing, things with the adverts. You have to play for the team, pass when you have to, and do the things when you need to. Now, I really think that if Callum did get that goal, which he deserved, I'm sure that people's opinions would be completely different. But today, I have to admit, it felt like I was seeing Eden Hazard again. Times where Callum's just really keeping the ball and looking to play people in. I see young attacking wingers. They are not doing things like that. They don't play with that patience like Hazard used to do. It seems like he's really learned a lot, and I thought that he was really impressive. And for that reason, Callum is going to get a 7.5 out of 10. We move on to Mason Mount, and finally Mason Mount got his goal. Now, he's been teasing us with this goal for a long time now. He's been very unlucky, really close a few times, and Mason himself knows that it's about time that he got a goal. So I found the goal really funny because it was like he really concentrated and took his time. It was like, listen, this time I am not messing up. And it's great to see that he can think with that much clarity in moments of great pressure, which is really good and the marks of a great player to come. I think that Mason really is like the De Bruyne of the team, and I think that if he gets to play more as a cam throughout, we're really going to see these similarities. Mason has that ability to press, he's very inventive with his passing as well, his movement in behind, and he has a goal threat on top of that, and great set piece delivery as well. Now, his set piece delivery really is on point, and you can tell it's something that he works really hard on to get right. I think that our attack becomes a lot more fluid because it's Mason's nature to constantly find good positions and areas to help support the team. For me, he's 20 years old, but already he looks better than Oscar. And for that reason, Mason is going to get a 7.5 out of 10. And to move on to Willian, and as I'm saying, you guys, I was not expecting to be praising Willian so much throughout this season, but you know, credit to him. And I really think that his experience complements this youthful attack that we have right now. You know, he's really playing for the team. He's really become an example in terms of work rate and what you need to do. And I think that the young players obviously are going to lead by that example. And this is why he's helped the team. You know, he's helped Aspie, he's helped our attack. And I think that with the system, and that's the most important thing, the system has allowed Willian to play with more freedom. Before, he was always a supporting cast member and he was kind of suffering down that right hand side. But now he gets to play his more natural game, you know, collecting the ball from deep, where, let's admit, he is one of the best players in the league at producing those moments. He produced the assist for Mason Mount. At times, you know, he looks for the goal a bit too much. There was an incident where he should have played Aspie instead. The guy's 31 and, you know, he's never going to do that. Let's be serious. So for that reason, I'm going to score Willian a 7.5 out of 10. And now, to end the first team lineup, we end with Tammy Abraham. And I'm saying this right now, I don't care. Today I saw a young Didier. This guy led from the front. I told you guys he always had the mentality to play for this club. He understands what it means. He knows. I mean, look, he was in our own half how many times, helping to defend. He doesn't have to do that, but he wants to win. He has that desire. He knows what. Look how he celebrates. Look at the passion that comes out. You know, this is what he's living for. That's what he does. Now, this guy is ready for us. And when you consider the amount of money we've wasted on flops like Shevchenko, Morata and Torres, just from how Tammy plays the game, it's much better than anything I've seen from those expensive flops. I mean it. I mean, the first touch of that goal, the skill, the audacity, come on. The improvisation with the finish. He works hard. He causes danger to every defense. This guy's a serious player. 8 goals already. 8 goals. When's the last? I mean, I think Diego Costa was the last striker to do something like that for us. You know? How long has it taken us to replace him? And this guy's doing things like what? He's just turned 22? My God. This guy's a top player. Today, I'm going to give him a score of 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to the subs, starting with Cover. And Cover today did what he had to do. He was solid. He helped keep the ball. And again, you know, nothing really amazing. Nothing noteworthy. For that reason, he'll get a standard 6 out of 10. Christian Pulisic. Now, yes, this is the cameo I want to see. Now, it helps that, you know, Christian got to move more in fields. And that's how he likes to play. You know, that's where he does his best stuff. But he has to understand that to get in the team, your work rate defensively has to be as good as Willian's. He'll get there, he's young. But I'm hoping to see more cameos like this, more substitute appearances. You know, he can really add another dimension to the team and really continue what we do. And just the way he created that assist was, I mean, it was tidy, you guys. That was a tidy assist to Michy. The Dortmund boys reuniting. It was good to see, and I'm hoping that Pulisic is really up for this and fights, because we've seen success stories of Tomori with Ruben. We've seen so many. You can do it, and we'll see you in the team very soon. He's going to get a 7 out of 10, and we end with Michy Batshuayi. I was happy he scored. I'm happy, you know. Michy is someone that has great finishing. We all know that. I mean, with both feet in his head, he knows how to find the box. But what I really like about him, especially this season, I haven't seen him look so confident. And I think because of this confidence, every time he comes off the bench, the guy is instantly focused and ready for the game. Not too often do you see substitutes with this type of mentality, but when you have a sub that's instantly focused and ready to participate and work for the team, that really helps the cause greatly. I'm happy Michy scored because it means that he's going to continue to work hard and continue to be focused to come on. He's going to get a 7 out of 10. And to end with the boss himself, Lamps. The system, you guys, the amount of opportunities we make, and we're getting much better defensively as well. It seems like our only weakness now is set pieces. We've come a long way from being susceptible in the counter-attack. I mean, we were getting exposed all the time. Now we're not seeing that anymore. The team have worked really hard on their defensive positioning and their work rate from the front as well. But I think one of my favourite things about Lampard is that he knows when to make the right substitutions. Now, of course, he didn't want to risk guys like Callum or Tammy picking up any more unnecessary knocks, and he made that decision instantly. He didn't waste time. And I think that Lampard's going to have a lot more flexibility now with the subs because he has so many options that can change the dynamics of the game. And because he knows how to make subs that affect the game, I feel a lot more confident about us sealing games out as the future goes on. For that reason, Lampard is going to get an 8 out of 10. And on that note, you guys, I'm going to wrap things up and keep things moving. I'm Nimi FC. This is Blue Lions TV. See you guys tomorrow.